Africa's investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. Monday, September 22nd, was marked by several impressive gains on the stock market, with Uniwax Côte d'Ivoire, Oragroup Togo, and CFAO Motors standing out as leaders. In this episode, we will explore the top gainers, the movement of key indexes, and the dynamic activity in the bond market. Most importantly, we will explain what these developments mean for you as an investor in Francophone West Africa. Let's begin with the stock market and the strongest increases. The top performer of the day was Uniwax Côte d'Ivoire, traded under UNXC. The stock closed at 1,220 francs CFA, rising 7.49% in a single session. That means if you had invested 100,000 francs CFA yesterday, your portfolio would have gained more than 7,000 francs CFA in one day. This reflects strong investor confidence in the textile industry, especially as made-in-Africa fashion continues to gain traction. Over the past year, Uniwax has already risen nearly 200%, a spectacular record. For investors, this shows that even traditional industrial companies can turn out to be hidden champions. The second big gainer was Oragroup Togo, up 7.48%, closing at 1,940 francs CFA. This regional banking group illustrates the resilience of West Africa's financial sector, despite growing competition. For investors, such a performance signals renewed confidence in the ability of regional banks to generate growth even in a tougher global environment. Next, CFAO Motors. Côte d'Ivoire rose 5.76% to close at 1,010 francs CFA. The automobile sector is cyclical, closely linked to consumer purchasing power and overall economic health. This sharp rise suggests that discretionary spending, purchases of non-essential items like cars, is picking up. It reflects growing confidence among households and businesses in the region's economic outlook. CFAO Côte d'Ivoire also advanced 5.26%, closing at 1,000 francs CFA. Meanwhile, SAPH Côte d'Ivoire, a major player in rubber production, climbed 3.19% to 7,275 francs CFA. With a year-to-date increase of more than 75%, SAPH continues to benefit from strong global demand for rubber. For investors, this highlights the value of well-positioned agricultural companies that can capture international commodity trends. But there were also significant declines. Unilever Côte d'Ivoire fell 7.49% to close at 18,825 francs CFA. Despite this drop, the stock has still gained more than 190% over the past year. For investors, this shows that even top annual performers can experience temporary profit-taking. A long-term perspective is crucial. Other declines included Banque of Africa Senegal, NSIA Banque Côte d'Ivoire, Sucre Ivoire, and Orange Côte d'Ivoire. Orange Côte d'Ivoire, for instance, slipped 2.03% to close at 14,500 francs CFA. This confirms a broader downward trend in the telecom sector, which has been struggling to attract investor interest. Over the past year, Orange Côte d'Ivoire is down 17%. For investors, this is a clear sign that the telecom sector is undergoing an adjustment, pressured by competition and margin constraints. Let's now turn to the BRVM indexes. The composite index, which tracks all listed stocks, finished at 323.11 points, a slight decline of 0.46%. But don't forget, on a yearly basis, the composite index remains up more than 17%. For investors, this means that despite daily corrections, the broader trend remains strongly positive. The BRVM 30, which follows the 30 largest companies, fell 0.66% to 160.65 points. Yet on a yearly basis, it is still up nearly 16%. The Prestige Index, which includes the market's top blue-chip companies, slipped 0.71%, but maintains an annual increase of nearly 19%. For investors, this shows that high-quality stocks can deliver long-term growth even when the daily session is negative. By sector, discretionary consumption jumped 3.40%, reflecting strong performance from companies in non-essential goods. Agriculture, a pillar sector for West Africa, also gained 2.11%. In contrast, public utilities and telecoms weakened further, underlining that these sectors are in a more difficult phase. Now let's look at the bond market, which saw very active trading. The total volume exceeded 112,000 bonds exchanged, representing a value of more than 1.12 billion francs CFA. For investors, this illustrates the growing depth of the regional bond market, attracting both institutions and individuals looking for safer investment. Among the highlights were sovereign issues from Mali and Senegal, with maturities ranging from 8 years to 10 years. For example, Mali's new 10-year and 8-year bonds will have their first listing on September 23rd. This reflects a dynamic primary market, giving investors fresh opportunities to diversify their portfolios. We also observed significant trades in bonds from Burkina Faso, Niger, and corporate issuers such as Petro Ivoire and Sonatel. Petro Ivoire, for instance, recorded 2,500 bonds traded, worth more than 25 million francs CFA. This shows growing investor interest in corporate bonds in the region. Why is this important for you as an investor? Because bonds provide regular income through interest coupons, often between 6 and 7% per year. In a context where stocks can be volatile, these investments bring stability. It's like having a strong foundation in your portfolio on which you can build more dynamic strategies with stocks. To sum up, the session of September 22nd showed a balanced market. Strong stock gainers that reflect optimism, indexes that despite small drops remain positive year to date, and a very active bond market that continues to attract investors. And this is exactly where Daba Pro becomes essential. With Daba Pro, you receive weekly investment recommendations tailored to African markets, exclusive analyses on the most promising stocks, and reduced fees for trading. It's the tool that allows you not only to follow the market, but to stay ahead of it. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your app store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.